Garden Warfare 2 is by far the best in the series. I mean, I remember me and my brother grinding to get the Ice Soldier Trooper because obviously he froze enemies when you slowed them down with enough bullets. It was great. It was awesome. I loved it. This game has a special place in my heart, not only for the Gardens and Graveyards, but also for that dinosaur mode because it was so different. I mean, what drugs were they on when they decided, let's make a dinosaur laser mode where you could get exclusive party characters who had the access to crazy mode or party mode abilities that greatly impacted the way they played in the game. It was awesome. Alright, this loading's taking a little long, but I mean, it shouldn't be any longer, right? Okay, it's still loading, guys. I don't want to say this, but I checked Reddit. It's absolutely cooked. You cannot play this game right now. It's completely broken. I cleared all data, but it still won't work. Okay, fuck it. Garden Warfare 1 was the best game. I mean, we have iconic maps, iconic characters. This set the footing for how the games would go thereon. I mean, there are 3 games after this, and they're all obviously emulated after this. I mean, it's perfect. Okay, taking a little while to load, but that's fine. Look at us. We're getting in the game. Hell yeah, man. I can't wait to play. This is awesome. Hell yeah, man. Cactus Canyon Night. I remember this where you're pushing the giant golf ball. This has to be a good game. This has to be full of people because we all know we loved this game and this game mode. I'm going pea shooter. I'm kind of a lame. I mean, sue me. Jesus Christ, there's only one person in this game. Okay, maybe this game is chalked. That's fine. I mean, there's 1, 2 others. Like, I can, work with that. Okay, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, the newest game. There has to be people on this, right? Like, this is what we're looking for. We got a full lobby. I don't like playing the zombies, to be honest. I'd much rather prefer to play pea shooter and just cheese my chili bean. But it is what it is. I'm kind of stuck in a bullshit part where you have to keep on going through the nuts, but it's okay. The main part of my video I wanted to get to is that Garden Warfare 2 was by far the best game in the series. It had so much to offer with so many varying ways of which you could play. And Battle for Neighborville just seemed like an empty version of that. I feel like they didn't want to expand or innovate at all. They had their idea of what worked and they were very comfortable with that, which I hate. I think once you're comfortable is when you're vulnerable. Because you should always be trying to innovate. I mean, here I get flanked by a fucking pinata, whatever the fuck, piranha. It doesn't matter. Don't worry, now we're on the plant side. This is where I cook. The main problem I have with this game is sensory overload. Giddy Park is a really cool idea, but there's a lot to it, and I'm confused at most parts. There are missions which intrigue you to want to explore it, but it's kind of empty and there isn't much to it. I mean, I did the training ground and I got all my coins, but to get a new character is very expensive and something that I don't want to waste my time on. I will say the new characters are really cool. I think Citron and Rose are awesome, the fact you could turn people into goats. I remember trying my hardest to get the achievement where I was turned into a goat and still got a kill. And by the way, if I'm the one that killed you while I was a goat, you suck ass. Like, you should definitely delete the game. And then on the other side, I believe there was a scientist that was new, or at least reworked. And then there was the Imp, which if you play this game is by far the most overpowered character. I mean, once you get in his mech, it's virtually impossible to kill him. And even once you kill him, he's like D.Va and he just has a second ult, which is total bullshit. I also first played this game on Switch. And I was surprised because there were people playing it, but it still felt dead. I'm not sure. Maybe they use bots in this game, maybe they don't. And here's exactly what I'm talking about, the Imp. He has so much health. I mean, he's taking a 1-on-4 on the point. I'm throwing everything at him, but he's still not dying. It's kind of ridiculous. One point I wanted to make in this video, too, is the fact that the maps, they seem a little gimmicky. I mean, there's some with trains where they completely run you over. In the past video, there were walnuts that just completely destroy you. I like the parkour aspects, but I feel like as if they lean on that too much, and it kind of destroys the overall competitive part of the game. I miraculously died even though I was going off, but, we're going to carry on. Are there any variants in this game? I'm playing the casual pea shooter, but I don't remember any variants. I remember distinctively with Garden Warfare 2 and Garden Warfare 1, we had the Cheeto Chomper, if you guys remember that. I mean, he was awesome, and I'm pretty sure he was free, which was sick. It's a free ad for Cheetos, and it's a free character for us, and I couldn't love it anymore. And then on Garden Warfare 2, we had so many unique characters. As I talked about before, the party character was awesome. The Ice Trooper was awesome. We had certain football players with different abilities whose imps would work different. And I think that was awesome. In this game, I don't see much with it though. I mean, I'm playing the game, and as you notice, there's not many different variants, if any at all. I'm still not sure if there are variants in this game, but if there are not, that is extremely disappointing. Seems like a bad decision on their part, because I feel like they could make a lot of money with people spending coins on getting packs. And it's also bad on just the gameplay part. I mean, I want to grind to be able to earn coins to get the packs. What's the point of earning packs in this game? They're pretty weak as far as I'm concerned. It's mainly cosmetics, which I could give a shit less about, so it's just disappointing. As I was playing this game, I realized just how bored I was. I don't know what it is, but it lost its touch. It does nothing different. You could see this map in Garden Warfare 2 or Garden Warfare 1, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I wish they had done something more, maybe a full-fledged campaign, not just gardens or graveyards, or maybe adding more boss characters that you could actually earn realistically. I mean, earning the Law guy, or let alone the GOAT, I believe, from the zombie side, was completely impossible. I had all the rainbow keys, I tried to do it, but the puzzles took me a fucking minute, man. And you guys know if you played those puzzles, they were a pain in the ass. So you know what? I'm going to the best Plants vs. Zombies game of all time. Not even Garden Warfare, but the OG, the original. I remember going to GameStop, and I saw this game, and it intrigued me a little bit, but I wasn't totally sold on it. But then I saw you got a free Disco Zombie action figure with the game, and I completely fell in love with it. I think I've beaten this game at least 5 times, always listening to the "There are zombies on your lawn" at the end of it. I take pride in knowing that I'm a tryhard in this game. I seriously try hard. I like going back to it, and especially the DS and mobile versions where they have the mini-games. I'm not sure if console supports the mini-games or let alone has it, but those added such unique variety to the game where it made it feel completely different, where I wanted to keep on playing it. It's crazy to think how Plants vs. Zombies went from a simple 2D game with a grid aspect to a 3D first-person or third-person shooter. I mean, they really innovated here. I don't think anybody expected in 2009 or whenever this game was created to have it come to those heights. And I wish they just used more influence. I mean, it was so simple. We barely see Crazy Dave anymore. What happened to Crazy Dave? And there are so many plants that aren't used in the Garden Warfare games that I wonder, why did they ever scrap them? Was it a matter of not being able to support them in the game realistically, or they were too overpowered? I'm not sure. I also want to make a point on Plants vs. Zombies 2, the regular game. That game is a load of crock shit. You have to spend like 1,500 coins on an ability when you need to get bailed out, because if you're on that pirate map with the boat, it's ridiculous. The minute those pirates come out with their ropes, it's virtually impossible to beat. Not to mention the home, which is the one I'm playing now, but on Plants vs. Zombies 2, it's the hardest difficulty for the world, and it is damn near impossible. The daily missions are cool where I can get pinatas, but the fact they make it a 3 chance to be able to pull something good is bullshit. Not to mention things like the ice pea shooter costs money. We've completely lost the plot here. This was not a pay-to-win game, it never was. So I don't understand why they're making it that way. I can respect the fact that it's a business and they have to make money, but if you're genuinely supporting that, you're adding to the problem. I've also seen so many fake leaks for Plants vs. Zombies 3, and I think that's a big argument. Do we want a new Garden Warfare game, or do we want Plants vs. Zombies 3? Well, honestly, the way they made Plants vs. Zombies 2, I'd much rather see a Garden Warfare. Lock in on the third-person shooter because that's what's selling right now, and get rid of those goddamn microtransactions. I feel like they'd add a battle pass to Garden Warfare or Plants vs. Zombies 3, where you have to unlock characters through all that bullshit, and I would hate to see that. I think battle passes are the ruin of video games. They did have the YouTubers play it, Plants vs. Zombies 3, and honestly, this looks really good. It's a whole different skew to what we know about the map. The characters look updated in 3D models. But again, I go back to that battle pass. We have the leaderboards, so that incentivizes you to be better than the next guy or woman above you. And I just wonder, is there a pay-to-access game in which you can get higher on the leaderboards just by spending money? I definitely think so, and it makes sense. Because at the end of the day, EA, that evil piece of shit company that ruined Star Wars Battlefield, is gonna fuck it up some way or another. And I know they would just make it a painstakingly process in which you have to spend money to get a pea shooter or an upgraded Sunflower that ultimately leads to nothing. There's just something so comforting about the first Plants vs. Zombies, that every 10th level you're gonna get a huge boss fight, at every 5th level it's either be a base game mode or a conveyor game mode, where you know you're overpowered and you know you're gonna win, but it's still stressful, because if you don't get that red nut, you are absolutely fucked, man. I mean, you gotta hit like multiple collaterals to be able to beat that game. This is the only campaign that I generally remember. I mean, there's no campaign in any of the rest of the Plants vs. Zombies games in the franchise, and I feel like that's a huge loss. Yeah, obviously we want to play multiplayer and play with and against our friends, but what's wrong with making a valid story where we go through things? Garden Warfare tried to do it with the character missions where you play as certain heroes and get chests, but it just seemed like a huge chest grab where I end up doing nothing at the end of the day. Either way, is Garden Warfare still the best? Couldn't play it, sorry. Now we have Plants vs. Zombies 2. I mean, this game is so pay to win. They make the characters so overpowered. The fact that you can buy characters and you can buy power-ups is so bullshit. I hate this game. I don't want to talk much about it. I deleted it the minute I beat this level. 0 out of 10. It wouldn't let me upload gameplay for PvZ Heroes, so here's just some DeviantArt in the background while I talk about it. I thought this game was really cool. I mean, it's definitely just Hearthstone, yeah, but I didn't realize there were original characters in it. I mean, you got the Landmine, which is now like a full-fledged like tank. And they also got this guy, the Shroom, which they really like. I saw a lot of DeviantArt based off of him. I didn't like the fact that it's PAX-oriented. Makes me think it's pay-to-win, where, like, you spend a lot of money on gems and it ends up being a total crapshoot. But I thought it was charming. It's not something I would necessarily play, but I think it's a cool addition to the Plants vs. Zombies franchise. They were trying to branch out and do something new, which I can definitely respect. But get rid of the gems, man. We don't need that shit. Like, it's worn out. Just add a battle pass at that point. Say fuck it. So yeah, this is this video. Plants vs. Zombies. It's kind of on a downfall right now. I wish they would just lock in on a Garden Warfare game. Stop going for the experimental shit. But it forever has a place in my heart. Plants vs. Zombies 1 is forever the best game they've ever made.